Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is my attempt at a chevron style serving tray. So last month I made a couple of cutting boards for my dad and my brother for Father's Day, and they came out pretty well. Initially I wanted to make this a cutting board, but a couple of accidents happened along the way and I had to change my mind and make something different. So I changed it to a serving tray. But that's how we learn and that's how we get better, and I'm okay with that. All right, y'all, let's get started. So the four different types of wood I'm using are yellow heart, purple heart, cherry, and paddock, or poddock, or how do you say it?
If there's 300 very angry San Diegoites. San Diegoans. San Diegoans.
San Diegans.
San Diegans. San Diegans.
So I'm starting off by ripping all these pieces down to 24 inches. I bought these S4S planks about 3 months ago on Amazon because I wanted to make a cutting board. I bought the yellow heart separate and it came in a different dimension, so now I'm just ripping it down to the 3/4 just like all the other ones. The purple heart and poddock were, I think, 2 inches wide, so I'm trimming them down to 7/8 so I can use the other side for another cutting board. This is the order I decided on. I'm gluing these pieces staggered so I can cut them at a 30-degree angle so I won't have much waste. Make sure when you're gluing these pieces together that you put a healthy amount of glue and make sure you're covering the whole surface. If you don't, there may be gaps in between each plank and that won't turn out good. Alright, let's put some jams on. Alright, globe's ready. Let's go plane it. So I bit the bullet and bought me one of these 15 amp planers from DeWalt. These things are amazing. They got so much power and I'm honestly impressed with it. I clamped the tray down at 30 degrees so the piece wouldn't move on me. And this is where my mistake happened. Instead of pushing it down the fence, I should have just kept it on the sled and made the cuts like that. Because of this, I had gaps in between the pieces before I glued them up. That's why I changed this whole thing from a cutting board to a serving board. The rib still came out pretty nice, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to woodworking, and I just wasn't going to let that happen. Now I'm ripping off the edges so I can have some straight sides. I'm running it through the planer again to make sure it's a complete flat surface on both sides. I gave it a little sand with my orbital sander, and I started off with 80 and I went to 120 to 220 to 320. Once I finished sanding it with 220, I sprayed it with water on both sides to make the fibers pop up. After it dried, I finished off sanding with the 320 grit. I went ahead and gave the serving tray a 1/8 inch chamfer. This thing is definitely coming together. The chamfer bit left a little bit of leftover material, so I'll go ahead and go over that with a sander. I like using these sanding pads because it helps give it a cushion sanding so that it won't leave any divots or dents in the ends. Man, that thing is looking gorgeous. Look at that. So initially I intended on using some walrus oil, which is made with mineral oil and beeswax, but since I changed it to a serving tray, I went ahead and went with tung oil. So here's the finished product. That tung oil brought out the true colors in this exotic wood. Man, that thing is pretty. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it.